Character arcs. Character freaking arcs. Now I've figured out the theme of the thing. Like, am I going to get across what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to put into this dialogue? If I haven't said this yet, hi, I'm Louise. I'm a screenwriter, filmmaker, something, and I want to make a feature film that I have been writing for a while. I've made a short film version of it that's going to be like a proof of concept. Do we like this background? That is my box spring. Hello, TubeSap. We're basically like so back. Like we're so back, it's like we never even left. So if you're not caught up on my vlogs, which I do not blame you because the last few have been pretty rough, I made a pitch deck for my film, which I worked really, really hard on for like an entire week straight. It wasn't just the pitch deck, I was also working on a presentation because I needed to make a video where I presented the pitch deck and then I submit it to a contest. And then if I win, I get to do that presentation to a live audience. So I filmed it on time for the deadline and I edited it. And then when I was editing it, I realized it wasn't good enough. So I was trying to make the early deadline, which is $10, I think. And then the later deadline is in April and luckily it's only 15. So I decided to hold off. I wrote a new like intro and outro. So I feel a lot better about what I wrote, but I haven't had the chance to film it yet. It's just been so crazy and I'd rather make these vlogs anyway. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what the next steps are and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I am also trying to finish the feature script and make it like perfect, right? A lot of people have read it, I've gotten feedback. I'm not quite done with it yet, but it does feel like a final draft, the one that I'm on. I haven't done much writing lately. I haven't really been forcing myself to write because it's been like I've been taking like a break. I've been waiting for feedback to come in. I've been thinking about the feedback I've been getting. I've really just been thinking, and I've been thinking about what I want to write next, but I'm not talking about that now because this is a getting back into the script vlog. So I've been taking a break. That's what I did in my last vlog. I've been thinking about other ideas and I've been thinking a lot about my characters for this movie, which is called Nikki and Nick, if I haven't said that yet. Been thinking a lot about those characters, been thinking about their arcs, been thinking about what is on the page versus what is just like in my head, been thinking about how I would direct the actors if they were to exist. And this break has been really, really good. It's given me a lot of time to think about things that I need to fix and that I want to fix. And that will make the script better. I don't know if anyone can relate to this as authors, but when you get feedback and you like get these notes that you know are right and you know you can apply and you know you can fix them, but you don't exactly know how, and there's just this sinking feeling of like, oh, like how am I gonna fix this? Taking some time away from writing and from reading it has really helped me to come up with ideas of not just how to fix those problems, but also just how to make it like better overall. And I've mostly been thinking about the character arcs and like how they meet and how they all affect each other. I feel like I don't know what I'm saying. I've been doing a lot of writing by hand. At this point, my script is 108 or 109 pages long, and I wouldn't mind it if it was 110, 112, but ideally I'd like it to be under 108. Like 105 would be great. I know it doesn't really matter. I'm like worried about this even though it like doesn't really matter at all, especially at this point. To explain this, if you're not a screenwriting person, a 90-page script would be like a cute little rom-com, a kid's movie, a Disney Channel original movie, a low-budget indie would be 90 pages. Honestly, ideally, I would love my script to be 90 pages, but that is never going to happen because I have so much dialogue. Something with not a lot of dialogue would be 90 pages. 100 to 105, maybe 108 range would be like a low-budget indie, lower concept, like drama, comedy kind of thing. And then once you get over like 110, I'd say, I guess, I don't know, I'm kind of just making this up as I go. Once you get over 110, then it starts to get higher concept. And then when you get over 120, that's like, you have to be making like an epic script. I don't think that any like drama or indie or lower budget movie could ever justify a 120 page count. However, I guess there are exceptions. I don't really know. I'm not an expert. This is just kind of what I think of when I read scripts, because I've read a lot of amateur and beginner scripts. Beginner here. And that's kind of what I've seen the page ranges equal to. So I really want my movie to be on the shorter side, but there is a lot of dialogue, and I do picture it moving really fast and a lot of characters talking over each other. Basically, like, 1 page equals 1 minute of screen time is like the screenwriting thing, but there are exceptions when there's a lot of dialogue. Like in Gilmore Girls, my favorite show of all time, the scripts would be like 60 pages long and the episodes would be 40-45 minutes, which is like kind of crazy, but it's because they talk so fast. I know they even had like a coach on, like a dialogue coach on set to like help the actors with the fast talking. I also remember learning that they would like film extra scenes that didn't have dialogue because the episodes would be so short and they would constantly like fall under that 45-minute runtime, which I think is so awesome. Oh man, I haven't watched Gilmore Girls since I was like 11 years old. I've probably seen every episode like 80 times. Like, I could recite some of these episodes, so like that's definitely had a big influence on me and my writing. So I do think that if my script is 110, it could still be like a normal indie feature film runtime. It wouldn't be like a long movie. I kind of have a hard time with long movies because I have no attention span. What I'm getting at is I get very nervous about the page count growing, and I think at this point in my writing where I'm on this like final draft, I feel like I have learned a lot about my process, especially because this is the first thing I've ever written. I figured out my writing process. When you're figuring out dialogue or rewriting a scene or rewriting dialogue, it can get long, then you have to go back and edit it. You know, AuthorTube, we know, we edit. So my process, not just at this stage, but has been for a while, is to write out the whole scene by hand and then type it up in a separate file, and then while I'm typing it up, editing it, you know, not worrying about how long it is here because I can't see. There's no page count here. It's a freaking notebook. I also write super messy. Like, I don't write it in screenplay format, obviously, in a notebook. I don't even put like the characters' names. It's just messy. And then I edit it on the computer while I'm typing it up, you know, shorten it. And then from that separate file, putting it into the final draft file, the feature, you know, the long version. I don't know what I'm saying, sorry if this is really, really confusing. Editing it there has kind of been the process, and then I delete that new file I'd made. So I'm not like saving every draft of the scene. I don't know if that makes sense actually, or if it matters, or if anyone cares. So I have 2 more scenes that I want to rewrite, which came from feedback and then me really thinking about the second main character and his arc. I love his arc. I talk about it all the time. I love this character so much. He's my favorite character ever, but I realized his arc was getting totally lost and overshadowed by the main character and then the female main character's arcs. And I knew exactly what he needed to go through, but I feel like it wasn't coming out. And then as I was going through other notes, I realized a scene where it could be so much more prevalent. And this was also from a note from Jay, so thank you, Jay. So I rewrote that scene last night, but I wasn't really exactly sure what the structure of it should be, where each line should be, so I just wrote out a lot by hand. So I need to type that up. But I'm also kind of still thinking about this character's arc, what he goes through, how it interacts with all the other characters. I feel like it's going to be very clean, but right now I feel like it's not there yet, and I'm kind of anxious about it. Like, am I going to get across what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to put into this dialogue? Hopefully it comes across. And if not, I, as a screenwriter and filmmaker, have the excuse to be just like, well, it'll come out in the acting. I can do this. I'm very confident that I can write this arc, improve it a lot. I haven't really gotten that note specifically of like people not understanding his arc, but I feel like a lot of the other notes I've gotten have kind of been alluding to that, if that makes sense. Well, I just yapped an amount and I don't know what I was really talking about. But I guess that is my writing update. I feel like I'm back in it. I feel like I have this very big problem, I guess, that I need to solve, or this, you know, I love working on character arcs, and I feel like I'm still working through this one. So that's where we're at. Can you chill? I generally just feel very impatient right now. Like, I want to be done with this, and I want to be screening my short film. I want to go to film festivals. I want to show it to people. I want to make this freaking feature film. Like, I want to be on set. I just feel so impatient to, like, get there. And I feel like I could be doing more. I don't know what that is. Sup, tubes? Good morning. It was so beautiful out yesterday, and I think it's also going to be beautiful out today. I'm going to my office for the first time. My new job. Very exciting. Haven't done anything yet, and I've been here a week, but it'll be cool to see the office. My April Nardini glasses. I went to the park yesterday, and, well, not the park, but a park. And I was journaling a little bit. And as you may know from my last vlog, I have been taking a bit of a break from writing, spending some time brainstorming some new ideas, which I'm not going to talk about, obviously, because that's really nobody's business but mine. I don't know, I just feel like these characters, like, that I've been working with for so long are always, like, in my head talking to me. I don't know if anyone else gets that, you know, voices in your head, but so what I have been thinking about a lot is character arcs. That's what I keep coming back to. How do these characters grow and change? What are they like at the beginning versus what they're like at the end? What is the big problem that they go through? Like, I feel like in earlier drafts, I was kind of trying a lot of different things to see what would work, but now it's like there is one thing that each of these characters goes through, one thing that each of them learn, and of course it's all kind of the same thing for each of them, but they all go through it really differently. There's 3 characters that have... What am I doing? Shh. Thank you. I was thinking a lot about Nick's arc. I was thinking a lot about Nick, just like who he is, what he goes through, and I kind of wrote him to service Nikki's arc, obviously. Like, everything he does, Nikki kind of reacts to, learns from, experiences. The plot is Nikki's arc, but Nick also has this really important story, obviously. And I feel like this last draft, I didn't... It's there, but it's not as good as it could be. It's not as there as it could be. And I was really thinking about, like, what is his big problem? Because basically he goes through several relationships in the movie, and he kind of has this, like, rejection trauma, I guess, from the beginning. Not I guess, I know. He has this rejection trauma from the beginning. And he kind of goes through this a couple times, and he has to realize that he is the problem. Character arc, duh. Doing that with the main character, like, figuring all that out, is, I think... not easy. It's very difficult, but it's easier because they're the main character and you can show them alone, you can show their point of view. Every character in the movie gets a little bit of point of view, but it's really from Nikki's point of view. So, I have a lot of rewriting to do with his scenes, and I'm pretty excited about it. I kind of love what I've thought of. I feel like it needs a little bit more work, but I feel like I have figured out exactly, like, what his problem is, and, yeah, how my main character's gonna heal each other. On Thursday we have our writing group, and it's Tuesday, and tonight I'm going to this bar that I've really been wanting to try that has food. I'm going out with my friends from my old company, so I'm really excited to see them because me and my old coworker, we were also, like, friends before we started working together, so I'm so excited to see him, and then 2 new friends that we made at the company who are so awesome, so I'm so excited. I'm gonna make, oh my gosh, I'm gonna put them here. I'm gonna make 2 mood boards for my main characters. Maybe 3. I feel like that's gonna help me. It's probably not, it'll be fun, but I feel like my mood boards haven't really been thematic enough. So I wanna put a little bit more of, like, realistic characters, not just like how they look and stuff they like, but like who are these people? What do they go through?
Yeah.
I have been writing a lot. Of course, it's not a new idea. I've been working on Nikki and Nick endlessly. I mean, I guess, like, if it truly makes me happy, I could work on this movie the rest of my life and never make it. But I have the time to write it now, so why not keep working on it even though I said it was done? I just keep thinking of ways it can be better. Like, nobody's asking for the script now, so there's no reason I shouldn't keep working on it. But I have this feeling of like, oh, you're still working on this? Like, whatever, let me freaking work on it, self. I can, like, if I can keep making it better, I'm gonna keep writing it. Like, there's no reason that I need to stop. And sorry, I just had to open the window. It's like kind of hot in here. Yeah. Hopefully someday there will be a reason for me to stop writing and start making the movie and start doing all the pre-production stuff. But right now, even though I'm very impatient for that day, it is not that day. Right now, I can write it as much as I want. And though it would be really great to have another script, in case, you know, I meet somebody in my travels and they're like, hey, that's cool that you wrote a movie, but do you have anything else? Because we don't like that. Which, like, how could you not love Nikki and Nick? I won't have anything else. And then they'll be like, all right, bye. We're going to go on, move on to the next writer that's got something. So it would be really good for me to write something else. And I do want to write something else, but like, I made that one of my goals for 2026 is to start and finish, yeah. Frickin' heck it, let's finish it. Start and finish a new draft of something, anything, even if it's awful, even if I hate it, even if no one will ever see it. Just write. Now I'm getting off on a tangent, but let's go off. Another goal is something that my friend Jamie came up with, and it is to get 100 rejections. I already have a significant amount of rejections from jobs, from film grants, and stuff like that, but we're not quite anywhere near 100 yet, so that'll be fun to achieve this year. I entered a bunch of film festivals with my short film, so I'm sure that will get me closer to my goal of 100 rejections. If anyone else wants to join me on this journey, comment. Sure, comment. Let's comment. Yeah, why not? Why not? And then I had two other goals. One was to get feedback from 15 people on my script and to read 15 books or scripts written by like friends. To get back to whatever I was talking about with filmmaking, I have this book which is really, really awesome. It's called Producer to Producer, and it basically explains how to make a movie from beginning to end, and useful for me to learn how to do that and to also just get some ideas about the potential for production. I think in some other videos I was getting really excited about the idea of making my movie, and I was talking about how like, oh, I could do it for really cheap, I could do it with my friends, I could do it with the resources and actors and locations I have. But then the more I had been thinking about it and writing, I was like, yeah, I guess I could, but I definitely want to try to get at least some support and budget before I go all out self-funded route. I also don't have any money, but like just the big set pieces of like basketball games, a tournament, a full gym with other players, like a bunch of other teams, audience, all that kind of stuff. I don't have the resources to do that, and I don't want to. Like, any way I do that is going to be a little cheap, and this story deserves to be told the right way. But hopefully, not hopefully, definitely, in the near future, I will be pitching, presenting, sending things to people. I don't know nothing about this world, but I will post about it on YouTube for sure. I feel like it would be cool to put into this script, like it fits, but maybe another one would be better, I don't know. Is like this idea of like, you can't get what you want if you don't ask for it. That tube sock was like, I'm asking you for food, am I not going to get it? Exactly like that. Like, not like the squeaky wheel gets the oil type thing, but something kind of similar to that. It's just like knowing what your goals are and believing that you can achieve them. And I feel like that has been really like a big part of my life lately, is like being like, okay, well, this is what I want, and then it kind of just sometimes just happens. Like, for example, last night I really wanted my favorite burger place, didn't get it, and then today when I was taking a walk, they are opening my favorite burger place right around the corner from my house. This honestly is not a good thing, even though it feels like a good thing. It's not. But yeah, ladies, ask the universe and you'll probably get what you want. Maybe it'll take some time and some hard work. Definitely a lot of hard work, but eventually I think you will just get everything that you ask for. Tomorrow is finally Thursday and we have writing group, and I am so excited. So I think tonight I'm going to either journal. I'm going to probably journal a tiny bit more because I cannot stop. I simply cannot stop. And no, don't say that. And go to the freaking gym, even though I'm freaking exhausted. Life is good, ladies. Life is good. I love our writing group and I cannot wait. It's Thursday and it's writing group night, and it could not come at a better time. I just bought this little notebook from Muji. I have a million of these. I love this size and I love the spiral because when you're on the train you can like hold it open, holds itself open. You don't have to like... I have been writing so many notes, so many thoughts, pieces of dialogue. I feel like I have kind of figured out, I think I need to do a little bit more journaling, and that's what I'll do on the train to work. I'm like kind of nervous that I'm going to be so distracted at work thinking about writing and that I'm not going to be able to focus on my job, which is why I'm trying to get as much out of the way this morning as I can. I keep repeating myself, but it's just taken me so long to figure out who these characters are and what they need and their problems and everything. And I feel like now that I've figured all of that out, now I've figured out the theme of the thing, like the theme. Because I definitely don't ever want to write thinking about the theme and being like, oh, I want to write something about this, but I want everything I write to be just about one thing. Like especially writing a screenplay that's only going to be 90 to 110 pages long. It has to be about one thing and everything has to connect to one idea. But I want to write like a really organic story and follow a character and not like force it to be about something. Like I want it to naturally become about something. That's just me. I don't know how you do it, but that's just me. So now I feel like I'm finally at a point where I have figured out that, and I want to go back in and really make sure that everything aligns. Make sure everything aligns. Make sure my 3 characters that have arcs align. And I think I might have already talked about this yesterday, but I'm going to talk about it again. What I'm going to be working on today in writing group and on the train and while I have my second coffee of the morning is, so starting with this side character who's like a mentor figure who doesn't really have an arc. He's going to say something to the main character that he went through. Like the main character is going to be asking him something post midpoint, and then, you know, when he's not really able to see what his problem is, but he's starting to realize, and it's not going to come back for a while because he's not ready. He's going to go through a couple more things, and then later he's going to say the thing that this mentor character said after he's learned it through some other scenes, but now it's resonated with him. He's going to say it to our like main side character, like our female main character. He's gonna say it to her, and she is going to not really understand it, and then she's gonna go through something, and she's gonna say the theme. It's not really the theme. It's gonna. I'm trying not to make it super on the nose, but yeah, whatever. It's a movie. It's cheesy. She's gonna say the theme to the main love interest character of the main character, and then our two main characters, our love interest and our main character, have to like figure out their own thing, and then at the end it's all gonna come together. Okay, I don't know, because I think I have realized that everyone kind of learns the same thing. Okay, but the two main characters, Nikki and Nick, as you know that they are named, like, you know. And also this is, we're friends here, like we're besties. Nikki and Nick go through somewhat different things, but like kind of come to the same conclusion in the end. So they do kind of have two different lessons. So it's not like, listen, it makes sense in my head, okay? It's gonna work, I swear. But yeah, I feel like I haven't been writing dialogue for a while, so I need to get back into like the dialogue mode, which is like obviously writing in a way that the audience is gonna understand what the character's saying, but the character isn't always gonna completely understand what they're, you know, you get it, you're all writers here. I don't know if any of that made any sense, but I need to go to work and shift into work mode, which I'm not happy about because I want to keep writing, but it's all gonna be worth it tonight for writing group. All right, bye.